Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for the Week 8 Thursday Night Football game between the Buccaneers and the Bills. I got two player props, guys, that I do like for this Thursday Night Football game, and as always, we're going to talk through these two plays and share why I like them. Before we do get started, though, breaking down the plays, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, if they do help you out, make sure you hit that like button down below. I do always appreciate the likes. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you guys have not yet. Also, if you are new to Prizepicks, if you have never checked out Prizepicks before, you can actually sign up for Prizepicks and use my promo code Noah when you do sign up. Click that link down in the description or just use that code when you sign up. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100. And I do also want to give a quick shout out to Sleeper because we are partnered up with Sleeper as well. For new users on Sleeper, you do get a free square when you sign up for Sleeper using that promo code Noah. They do also have a discount available for all users for this Thursday Night Football game. They have Stephon Diggs, his receiving yards prop, I think is discounted like 20 yards. I think it's bumped down to 65.5. So all users can get that Stephon Diggs discount on Sleeper. New users, when you sign up and deposit with promo code Noah, you will get a free square. So be sure to check out Sleeper, guys. Use that code Noah when you do sign up. Get your first deposit matched up to $100. But let's go ahead and talk through this Thursday night game. Some props I like on Prizepicks for this one. We're going to be looking in the fantasy score category. I do have two fantasy scores that I like for this game. And the first one we're going to take a look at is going to be Josh Allen's fantasy score of 21. And I do like the over here for Josh Allen. So if you take a look at Josh Allen this season, you take a look at his game log, he's been really good from a fantasy perspective. He has gone over this line in 4 out of his last 5 games. For the full season, he's gone over this line in 5 out of 7 games. And the 2 games he missed this season, one was Week 1. That was a really tough matchup on the road against the Jets. Really good Jets defense. Tough spot there for Josh Allen. He only had 12.04 fantasy points. And then Week 6 against the Giants, as you can see, he went under that week, only had 14.86 fantasy points. That was also, I don't want to say that was a tough matchup, but it was definitely a weird game for the Bills. I mean, they only put up 14 points at home. You definitely would have expected, a much better performance from the Bills in that game. But then they bounced back the next week, even in a tough matchup on the road against New England. Josh Allen did have 25.3 fantasy points. Josh Allen has always been a great fantasy quarterback. He's a guy that's going to get, he's going to do it both on the ground and through the air. Now, on the ground lately, he hasn't been super effective in terms of like rushing yards. If you look at his rushing yards the last 4 games, only 17, 14, 11, and 17 rushing yards. So the yards have been down from a running perspective, but he's still scoring touchdowns rushing-wise. He does have 4 rushing touchdowns in his last 5 games. He scored a rushing touchdown in 4 out of his last 5 to go along with at least 2 passing touchdowns in 4 straight games. So we know the opportunity is going to be there for Josh Allen to get it done both through the air and on the ground. And if you take a look at this season, like in the red zone, I think this is something that's like really important when you're looking at fantasy points for a quarterback. You want quarterbacks that when they get in the red zone, when they get near the end zone, when they're about to score touchdowns, you want the quarterback to be getting those touchdowns because that's where you get a lot of fantasy points from. Is from passing touchdowns and from rushing touchdowns. This season, the Bills, or Josh Allen, I should say, in terms of pass attempts inside the red zone, he's 4th in the league in terms of pass attempts inside the red zone, only behind Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and Dak Prescott. So when this Bills team, they're already a very pass-heavy offense, but when they get in the red zone, they're throwing the ball a lot. So Josh Allen has a opportunity to get a lot of touchdowns in the red zone. He's going to get you a ton of yards. We know that, both on the ground, maybe not, but through the air, on the ground, maybe not as much on the ground. I know his rushing yard prop is down a little bit in this game to 22.5. That's typically low for Josh Allen. But passing yards wise, he's still projected for over 260 passing yards. I was looking on DK Sportsbook. He's minus 145 to go over 1.5 passing touchdowns. So let's just say we project Josh Allen for 260 passing yards. We project him for 2 passing touchdowns. Well, that would be, just doing the math in my head, that would be about 18, 19 fantasy points, somewhere around there. And then you think about rushing yards. He projects for over 20 rushing yards. So that's over 21 fantasy points right there when you add on 2 more points for rushing yards. And then you got to think, Josh Allen definitely has a chance to get a rushing touchdown. I'm not banking on him getting a rushing touchdown here, but he has scored a rushing touchdown in 4 out of his last 5 games. He's always a threat to get a touchdown, on the ground. So 21 fantasy score for Josh Allen, I think, is a little bit low here. I like the Bills to put up some points in this spot at home against the Buccaneers defense that I think is definitely beatable. And Josh Allen, this line of 21 for a guy that averages over 23 fantasy points per game, I think is a little bit low. I would probably have this line around like 22.5. I think 21 is a bit low. So this is the first play I do like for this Thursday night football game. Josh Allen, more than 21 fantasy score. And then the other play I like to pair with that, we're going to be looking at Mike Evans' fantasy score of 12.5. And I also do like the over here for Mike Evans. So if you take a look at Mike Evans' game log, look at his last 5 games. Over this line in 3 out of 5 games. For the full season, he's over this line in 4 out of 6 games. The 2 games he went under, one was that week 5 game against the Saints. Obviously, not the easiest matchup there. He was having to deal with Marshawn Lattimore, who's given him a lot of troubles in the past. Only had 3 catches for 40 yards on 3 targets in that game against the Saints. Against Detroit, kind of a weird game for Mike Evans. He only had 4 catches for 49 yards against Detroit, but he saw 10 targets in that game. And if you take a look at Mike Evans' targets this season, pretty much outside of that game against New Orleans, he's had at least 8 targets in every game this season. 10 targets week 1 against Minnesota, 8 against Chicago, 10 against Philadelphia, 10 against Detroit, and 8 last week against Atlanta. So the volume's been very strong for Mike Evans. Him and Chris Godwin are tied for the team lead in target share. Those are the 2 guys that we know are going to get a large majority of the targets in this Buccaneers offense. If you take a look at the target share this season, both Chris Godwin and Mike Evans have right around a 25% target share. Well, the next highest guy is K. Dotton. K. Dotton and Rachaad White, they're tied with the same target share, and their target share is at just over 11.5%. So Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are basically over double the target share of the next guy on the team. You're just going to see so much opportunity for these 2 guys. And Evans, I definitely like a lot here. He's a guy that has shown big play upside, big play ability. He's been a guy that can score a lot of touchdowns. He's already scored 4 touchdowns this season. He's a big body that they can target a lot in the red zone. Baker Mayfield's been targeting Evans a lot in the red zone this season. And if we project Evans for, let's say, 5 catches for 50 yards, because I think that's where his prop lines are at. His receiving yard prop is at 57.5, so let's say, 55, 60 yards. His reception prop is set at 4.5. Let's say he gets 5 receptions for 60 yards. Well, that would be 11 fantasy points, and then you got to think about touchdown equity. Evans, I think, is, I don't want to say a good bet to score a touchdown, but most weeks he's a good bet to score a touchdown just because of how much they target him in the red zone. He's already scored 4 touchdowns this season. Now, I think this is going to be a game script where the Buccaneers are going to be playing from behind. They're going to likely have to throw. They're playing on the road here. They're 9-point underdogs in this game. Baker Mayfield's, I think his pass attempts prop is set at like 33.5. So the Bucs are expecting 30-plus pass attempts from Baker Mayfield here. If we're getting 30-plus pass attempts from Baker Mayfield, I think that means at least like 7 to 8 targets from Mike Evans. That definitely could mean some end zone targets, some red zone targets, potentially touchdowns. I don't think we need a touchdown for Mike Evans to go over this fantasy score line. He could get us 6 catches for 70 yards, and that would be 13 fantasy points. That is more than doable for a guy like Mike Evans. That would put him over this line. But obviously, if he does score a touchdown, got a pretty good chance of getting 12.5 fantasy points from him if he gets into the end zone. I mean, the 4 games this season where he's gotten into the end zone, he's went over this fantasy score line in all 4 of those games. The 2 games he didn't go over were 2 games where he didn't get into the end zone. But again, one game he saw just 3 targets. The other game he saw 10 targets, but unluckily only had 4 catches for 49 yards. I'm expecting a good game for Mike Evans here. I like the opportunity he's getting in this Buccaneers offense. Been a top target for Baker Mayfield, and in what should be a pass-heavy game script for the Buccaneers, I think we got a good chance of hitting this over fantasy score for Mike Evans. So these are the 2 props, guys, that I do like for this Thursday night football game. Josh Allen, more than 21 fantasy score, and Mike Evans, more than 12.5 fantasy score. If you guys are going to be tailing me on these 2 plays Thursday night, wish you the best of luck. Hopefully we can hit these plays, make some money off this football game on Thursday night. But as always, guys, appreciate you watching the videos and supporting the content. Make sure you guys hit that like button down below if you did enjoy this video. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. Be sure to go check out Prizepicks as well, guys. If you are not signed up for Prizepicks yet, get signed up over there. Use that promo code NOAH when you do sign up, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code. But good luck tonight, guys. Thanks for watching the video. As always, we'll see you in the next one. Peace.